Ang nagagawa nga naman ng pangarap ng isang magulang.
Anong grade na ba yung anak nyo?
Tagal nang tapos sa mga bata. Ako naman ngayon.
Manong Fishball ang tawag sa kanya. Pero sa mga araw na yun, many years ago, higit pa sa fishballs ang binigay niya sa akin. He taught me na walang di natutupad na pangarap sa taong handang magsumikap.
Dami niya na.
Panghapunan.
Pantoga.
Atin ang pangarap. Atin ang pagsisikap. Atin ang mundo. Globe. Manong Fishball ang tawag sa kanya. Everyday siya kung dumating. Kaya parang institusyon na siya dito sa area namin. Minsan, sobrang late na. Andun pa rin si Manong Fishball.
Ginagabi kayo, Manong.
Enrollment eh.
After some time, yung kariton ni Manong Fishball nadagdagan ng may bike.
Hanggang kabilang kalye, nagtitinda na rin kayo, Manong.
Ang notebook.
Sunod na taon, pati menu nadagdagan.
Nax, may squid balls na.
Mahal kasi ang lapis. May kikyo pa dyan.
Bilib na bilib ako kay Manong Fishball. Akalain mong yung maliit niyang kariton, napalaki niya ng ganun? Ang nagagawa nga naman ng pangarap ng isang magulang.
Anong grade na ba yung anak nyo?
Tagal nang tapos sa mga bata. Ako naman ngayon.
Manong Fishball ang tawag sa kanya. Pero sa mga araw na yun, many years ago, higit pa sa fishballs ang binigay niya sa akin. He taught me na walang di natutupad na pangarap sa taong handang magsumikap.
Dami niya na.
Panghapunan.
Pantoga.
Atin ang pangarap. Atin ang pagsisikap. Atin ang mundo. Globe.
Activate God Mode. Harness your energy and let it unleash as our top two teams fight for supremacy in the grand finals of UAC Wild Rift. Claude and fought to face the angels above. If you think the Hellhounds of PUP Cerberus Ultimate are underdogs, that's a big mistake. Will they overpower the gatekeepers of HAU? Or will the Archangels protect the throne?
PUP, if they get this, is gonna let them fight back against PUP. That burst damage as well. Can he go for the steal here? No, he's gonna get secured by PUP and then Dragon Stasis to try to give himself a little bit more time. PUP is ay kayang ano yun, and that's gonna be the chunk of waters here. Perfect against the Stasis and on the death timer from downtown. The Demacia Justice also nakapagaling sa grand entrance, and Kuya Paul just spinning to win. He's being chilled up there in the Nexus, and that's gonna be a full ace coming in from
Ang
PUP.
pinakagusto ko pong makatapat ulit is si Shino and Komi po. Kasi po nakatapat po sila sa laning sa PPGL po. And ayun po, ilang beses po nila kami natalo doon. Kaya excited po akong makatapat po ulit sila sa finals po na UAC.
Thank you sa pag-support sa Thailand servers and sana patuloy niyo pa rin kaming panoorin at supportahan.
How Valiant Esports proved their radiating dominance with explosive combos and light speed rotations. But how long will they be able to hold their ground? Will they tame the Zero Death Queen and her squad? Or will a new dawn of champions become victorious?
They're just going for the three-man grand entrance into the kill onto Miracle. The rest of WBSU Leviathans, their formation is broken.
Nails to work with though, so I think Toki is waiting for it. Here comes the Hero's Entrance onto the backline, would do some damage, and that's going to be an Ocean take on the side. How Valiant Esports, but there's a lot of damage going to, and this is going to be it for How
Siguro si Ter. Parehas kaming nag-PPGL, kaming apat. Kami ni Cool, Chino, ako, tsaka si Ter. Feel ko magandang rematch to sa aming apat.
Sa mga fans and supporters, so magpa-thank you kasi di pa rin sila nagsawa sumusuporta sa amin and naniniwala sa amin.
Feel the power rush through your veins for the grand finals of the third season of the University Alliance Cup Wild Rift this Sunday, December 5.
It is now time. Welcome to the third season of the University Alliance Cup featuring Wild Rift and the grand finals. This is all you have been waiting for. Of course, the top collegiate Wild Rift teams in the Philippines are all competing to raise the campus torch. A prize pool of over 150,000 pesos, the right to call themselves the best in the country, and of course, scholarships. My name is Kafer, and with me is Infinity, and we'll be your shoutcasters for the grand finals.
It is a rematch. It is the final conclusion. It is the final matchup. The do or die between both teams here in the grand finals for UAC Wild Rift Season 3. HAU Valiant Esports versus Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Cerberus Ultimate. As we jump into the draft, Kafer, I don't know what you're expecting here, but we have immediately seen anticipate Fizzban for the side of HAU, Gragas ban for Cerberus Ultimate.
So this is an immediate Gragas ban, and like we said, so the history of both of these teams, again, this is a rematch, and as we can see, the Valiant Esports, they're currently undefeated, 7-0 in this season. Of course, with the PUP Pylon Cerberus Ultimate will be are the fan favorites to win this tournament. Let's see who will be emerging as our champions for today.
Yeah. To follow up, we have an Olaf ban for the side of Cerberus Ultimate. To finish it off, we have Wukong ban and Driven for the side of HAU. And now it's going to be interesting what will be the priority here as Camille is open. Galio is open. These are strong champions that you can prioritize for your side. Even HAU, very versatile in their picks, and Lee Sin would be a good call when it comes to early aggression.
Yeah, like Lee Sin is one of those champions you need to watch in the early game. He might get your early jungle camps. He might gank. Like Lee Sin players are really unpredictable, but at the same time you can synergize well against Lee Sin. But in this case, they answer back with a Camille. Again, Camille jungle is very versatile as well. Like she can just go gank at level 3 as early as possible. But like I've said, proper synchronization, especially on the dragon lane, which support that they will pick or how the aggression will go.
Yeah, but it looks like it's a Garen pick here for Cerberus Ultimate as their second priority, with Camille potentially going for the jungle instead of the Baron lane. So There's going to be a level 5 champion for Camille that he can go for that Hextech Ultimatum and change
Mm-hmm.
things up into each and every single lane. May it
Mm-hmm.
be into the bot lane, may it be into the mid lane. Really depends
Mm-hmm.
on what happens here. But Varus coming for the side of HAU
Mm-hmm.
states to me a signal that they need something to peel for it. They need
Mm-hmm.
Alistar, they need Braum, something that would defend heavily for the side of
Mm-hmm.
HAU. And Galio would exactly
Galio.
be a strong peel for Varus.
For me, if this is the case, they need someone that can really do a lot of backline damage because once you're nearby the Galio, you might not get out, or it's up to you. Actually, they denied the possible Camille Galio combo, the X-Tech Ultimatum, and then the Grand Entrance combo. Um, but at the same time, Braum being the pick of Severus Ultimate, probably denying the any initiation capabilities that Valiant Esports can has to offer. Like for example, like they try with a justice punch and Braum can just immediately do the unbreakable and at the same time with a glacial fissure. But we will see here the follow-up ban would be Irelia. They actually need the banned Irelia because this is one of those champions that will really wreak havoc when in the mid game, can really dive into the backline easily. Well, let's see.
Interesting you said that. I'm not exactly sure if Irelia is just a big time priority band there, but I'm seeing what you're saying there as
Mm,
Irelia can just jump through and dance onto those team fights. And Fiora, Diana, Lucian going to be banned away as well in this draft
mhm.
composition. Now, Cerberus Ultimate, they have every single PL you can imagine here on this draft composition.
Yeah.
Now, what they're lacking is something that can deal damage, and
Mhm,
Ziggs is open, or Yana is open. What will their fourth pick
mhm.
be?
I mean, Ziggs would be a good option because Ziggs got recently also buffed in the previous patch. But they will opt in for a Zaya, which is for me they locked in the possible late game insurance. But just in case if the Zaya falls up in the mid game, this will be game set for, of course, for Valiant Esports. But at the same time, with the Varus pick, this would be kind of hard for the Zaya to have the early tradings because with the piercing arrow at the same time this would be a problem, but Darius is still in the table. They didn't ban or ban it rather, but probably a good matchup against Garen, but it's kind of lore wise, both of them have a beef to settle, but we will see how the teams will pull off.
Let's see if God King Darius or God King Garen can win this Baron lane. As you stated, when it comes to the lore, they
Hmm.
have an intense matchup. We'll see if that happens tonight. But
Orky. Hmm.
Orky going to be locked in for that middle lane for Cerberus Ultimate. This changes things up. They're now going for that engage. They're not going for sort of a poking composition that we've imagined of having
Yes.
Ziggs, on having this sort of playstyle, but they're
Hmm.
going for the all in here for
Hmm.
Cerberus Ultimate.
Yeah, and whenever the Galio pick, I immediately imagine that this would be a support Galio. Like together with Varus, they will be unstoppable in the laning phase. But I understand the Lulu. You don't want to be peeled as early as possible. Lulu's wild growth and of course the picks can really help you sustain into the team fights, and also of course help with the team fights after that heroic entrance is activated.
Yeah, and not just the wild growth, the sustainability, but he also provides, what extra movement speed. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking what you're saying there, Kiefer. We're seeing this peel coming from Lulu, not the best that
Mm-hmm.
we've imagined on having
Yes.
just the defensive tank as a peel, but
Mm-hmm.
this is good enough. He has more mobility, he has more damage onto that, and that wild growth at level 5 is
Mm-hmm.
going to be disastrous and obnoxious for the side of Cerberus Ultimate to fight against
Mm-hmm.
in the bot lane.
Yeah, exactly. And also coming into around the mid game, the Corki might be a force to reckon with, but still, for me, this is still a matter of the fight for macros and micros. Like it really depends if the Galio will scale up early or if the Corki will scale up early. It really depends on how the situation would end up in the mid lane. But let's see here. Now we are going into the grand finals of Valiant Esports. There you go. There's the pictures. Valiant Esports versus Cerberus Ultimate. This is the grand finals of UAC Season 3 for Wild Rift. So, guys, in the comment section, just cheer your respective teams, and we will be witnessing the finals.
This is what everyone is waiting for. HAU, the past champions, undefeated so far in this tournament, in their series to come, and now they're fighting PUP Cerberus Ultimate, another team that is very, very strong in UAC Wild Rift Season 3. And so far, in the first minute of the game, no one will go for that roam, and they will just go for the standard play here.
And of course, they need to be careful, especially in the positionings. Like, this is just a normal laning phase in the Dragon lane. Like, you need to somehow feel your aggression. This is not the typical Varus that we know way back in PC, like the attack speed Varus. This is the Varus that can really snipe from a distance and deal a lot of damage. And of course, with the corruption, that can really disrupt a team fight. But let's see, Justice Punch will be activated.
Good taunt coming in from Kelvin, now to follow through with a Lee Sin. Aggressive, falls down to 1
Ignite?
HP. And Ignite will not burn him down. Still level 3, not scaling so much when it comes to summoner stuff.
If just in case that Justice Punch connected, that would be an entirely different story. They will take the first blood in case. But there we go. There's the Unbreakable, and no, of course, there is nothing that they can do unstoppable. But after that Unbreakable is initiated, there's again the taunt from the Galio and securing that 2 kills.
An amazing play from HAU. Valiant Esports getting that double kill, make it a 3 as they secure another in top lane. This is exactly the ideal situation that they were looking for. But here we go for the replay on that team fight. Pay for what's happening here.
So most likely they just waited for the shield to come off, and then the rest of them can really deal a lot of damage. And of course, with the help of the Galio going inside, taunting the Camille, there's no escape for the Camille on that team fight. And of course, in the top lane, it's a matter of the fight of who's going to hit first. The Garen have the silence, the Darius don't. The Darius have continuous damage. The Garen also has continuous damage, but the thing here is the passive of Darius, if you really got it stacked, it will be a problem, especially if the ultimate, I forgot the name of the ultimate. Can you enlighten me up? Noxian Guillotine, there we go. The Noxian Guillotine.
Right.
If that just in case activated, it would be again a big trouble, and it's still a big cooldown, to be honest, if you miss the Noxian Guillotine. But at the same time, it will be dealing a lot of damage, especially with that hemorrhage charges.
Definitely alongside with a bleed, right?
Yeah.
Reducing some DOT or damage over time for viewers watching at home right now. And I think that's something that you need to be afraid of, especially when the 5v5 team fight. Ever HAU gets that poke damage coming in from Shino, it's going to be so much easier for Cool to just going for a guillotine, dunk, getting so much gold, getting so much kills for HAU.
Yeah, especially right now, like as we can see, the Lulu is nowhere around the Shino. Yes, now, but in case the Varus can really farm freedomly. Like he's the type of champion that you don't need really to just hit and hit and hit. In this story, he just need to snipe and scare the opposing champions away. In that time, he still have the opportunity to stack up the mana immune currently, later on to a Muramana. But probably now Draken will get the first Herald in the game.
Well, not exactly first as of yet. We still haven't secured it, but here we go. Cerberus Ultimate is now going for it, as HAU Valiant will not be able to secure that Rift Herald steal. But we have Garen very low, Draken very low, and they secure 2 more kills, making 3 more kills, as now they have all the standing in this early game. 6 kills out of 0 for PUP.
They committed a lot for that Herald, and then yeah, they got the Herald, but 3 kills courtesy of Valiant Esports, as you can see here. After all of them, almost all of them have severely damaged. The Darius is just going to dunk inside. Yes, there's a Glacial Fissure, but again, the damage of the Garen is not enough to probably secure or just damage the rest of the team.
And now this is an interesting phase, because now it's going to be Cerberus Ultimate at the disadvantage. And now with Hexic Ultimate from Drake, and they want to go for the counter attack. Kelvin going in for the hero's entrance with a 3-man knockup. Cerberus Ultimate cannot do anything, and they have to go back away. And now with the chain of corruption connecting onto Braum, he's exhausted, he's slow, he's rooted. Double kill already for that Varus. And Zaya is forced to flash away, but a Sonic
One
Wave
hit.
from Haru jumps in under the turret, secures one more.
Oh no, there we go. And of course, again with that team fight, you don't really let the Varus be at his face, that just sniping from a distance, avoiding the unbreakable shield as much as possible. But here we go. Not really committing on that one. But yeah, on that Varus, you just need to be wary where the Varus is positioned, especially on the piercing arrow, whatever the piercing arrow's direction is. Because once you deny the first arrow, it would be big game changer just in case into the team fight. But there we go, the Darius solo killing that Corki in the top lane. This would be massive for Valiant Esports.
Yeah, I'm glad you talked about that champion because something interesting to take note of, the first item of Darius is not a core item.
Yes.
It's actually a Bhutan champion. It's a proto belt. He went in and then built up into the Triforce after, and that states that he wants to go aggressive, and he did. Now
He
he's
did.
401, that he was able to accumulate more gold. And when we're looking at the Baron lane individual matchup, times 2, double the amount of gold from Draken to Cool's pocket.
Yeah. And speaking of objective-wise, as we can see, Haru is just soloing currently the Drake. The Corki seeing what's happening and is calling the rest of the teammate from PUP Service Ultimate if they will try to contest it, but they're running out of time. Haru will secure the Drake for themselves.
Yeah. And now Valiant Esports is playing ARAM. They want to go for all mid. They want to scare that tier 3 turret into the mid lane because they want to get that map control. It's mid lane controlling every single part of it. If they do, now top quadrant and right quadrant is in the favor for HAU. But for now, Cerberus Ultimate is doing a great job defending that tier 3 turret.
I saw Dragon's Rage that happened, but there we go. That's securing the kill from not Kelvin easily for the Corki. Like we saw the Sonic Wave and Resonance Strike at the same time, and the Dragon's Rage. There's no way for the Corki to get out, except for the Valkyrie. But Valkyrie without the care package would be like a little dash.
About that.
Oh, Chain of Corruption.
PC, it's a Chain of Corruption connecting onto Braum. That's going to be the
Hero
follow-up from that Galio. Instant response. And Cool with a flag. They get the double dunk. Double kill for Cool.
Just spinning around and just proto belting in to make sure the axe will hit the edge to have the full damage from Darius. But yeah, with that being said, Valiant Esports is now really confident on this one. And there we go, Resonance Knight and the Sonic Wave will connect, but suddenly the Swords of Demacia will fall into Haru.
You know, with those kills, with that advantage coming from Valiant Esports, they're going to the Rift Herald. You don't need the smite for that. You just need to get that eye, and they have taken it down. And so far, all objectives in favor of HAU.
Ultimatum.
Akane is now getting pinned down with that Hextech Ultimatum, but still being alive for a bit longer. Cerberus Ultimate just killed him with a blink of an eye. He cannot go away with so much CCs. Now HAU, PUP, 63 when it comes to kill standing, and when it comes to gold lead, it's 8k gold deficit for Cerberus Ultimate.
Exactly. And now seeing the Lee Sin's items, he already have the Ghost Blade, and next would be the Triforce, which is really the usual item if you really want to do an Assassin Lee Sin comp. Like it always is Assassin Lee Sin comp, but in this case, rest of the team is complementing well in their item build. As we can see, Deadman's Blade from the Darius, so expect more attack speed into the hit, the Decimate. But at the same time, they need to be careful, especially on the counter plays that the Braum can offer. Glacial Fissure together with the Hextech Ultimatum. But at the same time, they're pretty confident right now on their map control. Like 60% of the map is already in the HAU Valiant Esports hand. But we will see how the Cerberus Ultimate will turn things around.
Cerberus Ultimate is definitely now huge deficit. Surprisingly enough, that's the potential that we're looking for. But the PUP can bring this back. Sonic Wave is there, connected onto that road. Not going all in. Too dangerous under the turret.
Yeah, exactly. And the Braum is there. There's a glacial fissure. So if this is a one misstep, this is a bad for them. Oh, that flash didn't it isn't enough to reach out the Garen, and the Garen would just escape with the skin of his teeth.
He still lives. He has that mobility. And with the fancy footwork, he goes back to safety. But currently at the state of the game, it's cool. Leading the pack, leading the team. With 10k gold in his pockets, Dead Man's played with Triforce already. It's a dire situation for Cerberus Ultimate to bring this back for a good picture for their team and win this game 1.
And probably the best thing that Cerberus Ultimate will have the advantage in their favor. No, not again. Aggressive is too open, and now the kill will be the hands of Shino. And still, they want some more. Just the Sponge will miss.
Cool will miss out, as we stated, the upper hand, actually disabling them to get that first kill here in this mid-lane fight, but the taunt will do so, not helping that up, but Glacial Focus to delay it.
Yeah, just to deny them, yeah. I mean, you can use Glacial Fissure is really versatile, but again, another off-cam kill. The Zaya just happily farming. Suddenly, there is the King of Noxus being as angry as he can be, going inside and racking up the kill. And again, Cerberus Ultimate really needs to do is not really overextending. Speaking of which, there's the taunt.
And back away. Fred got the kill. Galio goes in for the hero's entrance. Aggressive will not be able to go for it. Now the flash will be burned as he tried to get down Kome, but 1-for-1 will be traded. 1-for-3 to say the least. As Aggressive will fall down and trade for a support. Now not Kelvin. Under the turret, going for the taunt, and now it's Cool and Draken going for it. Will not be able to secure it, and Draken will still live for another day. And Galio will be taken down as well.
And this is a pretty nice dive. If you were going to ask me, but it is too risky. Haru will live with the skin of his teeth, but Shino will be not safe for now. But still, they're just running away, and still, with that kind of team fight, it's kind of overextending, to be honest. But not really that significant change to the gold and to the kill lead. That's still 21-6 on our scoreboard, 10k gold advantage, still in the hands of Valiant Esports. So most likely for me, winning condition of Cerberus Ultimate would be number 1. Try to rack up like pickups. Like if you see someone, try to gather intel as much as possible. If there's no nearby teammates, yeah, get the kill if you can get the kill. Number 2 is just be together as much as possible, because you still have the Braum. The Braum will really keep you safe. And speaking of which,
Gets a pressure to actually go in. CC chain is flawless from Cerberus Ultimate, but still, Cool will live with a wild growth. Amazing plays coming in from Kome, but to follow up, Hara is very low as well. Sonic Wave connecting onto Kuya Fall.
ooh,
But good call coming back away. They don't want to fight Valiant Esports.
that's a good play actually. Like they're it's like a battle of mind games. It's like a ping pong. It's like Cerberus Ultimate may think that they can go in and go all in yet, but still Valiant Esports have another thing in mind, that they're ready for any possible counterplay. Speaking of counterplay,
Cerberus Ultimate is there, actually ready, but the dual lanes coming in from Shino and Kome is fighting against 5. Cerberus Ultimate is actually ready to respond though. Now the flash will be there, coming in for the Protoball as well. Cole went in with the Watt Grow with a knockoff, and now this one comes through. That's 1, that's 2, making another as Kuya Fall will fall down. That will make it a triple for Valiant Esports.
and that would be I don't
Haru,
know
what are
how
you
to
doing?
describe that one, but Haru just giving up the kill, and still they will have the objective of the towers. But this is a pretty good stuff so far. The Valiant Esports, really impressive performance on the first game. But yeah, expect ultimatum, but it wouldn't really matter. Guardian Angel will be popping up, and the first game would be in the hands of HAU Valiant Esports.
But first game showing by HAU Valiant Esports. Their undefeated run from UAC Wild Rift is still ongoing as they win this game number 1 up against PUP Cerberus Ultimate. Kaffer, talk me about what happened there from game number 1.
For game number 1, for me, Valiant Esports gets the early upper hand. on for example, the first the dragon fight. Like I've said, the Braum might be the best game changer in this type of situation, but they nullified it as much as possible, not really caring about the Braum because number one, there's a Varus, and the Varus won't really let the piercing arrows hit the unbreakable door. But at the same time, after the lead is being secured by Valiant Esports, they just keep the momentum up, especially from the Darius perspective.
Yeah. I guess that to be right as well. I mean, Cool is probably the underdog MVP, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah.
he's not something that we constantly look at, but Cool
Mhm.
in this game number one has proven us exceptionally well on how he can play on those team fights in
Mhm.
the earlier stages. 5 minutes into the matchup, he was already at 501, 400, that
Yeah.
he was able to accumulate so much gold, and even
Mhm.
then he was able to build a proto belt and then the
Mhm.
Triforce immediately, more than
Mhm.
anyone else in this game, that
Yeah.
enabled him to just dunk, dunk,
Mhm.
dunk Cerberus ultimate,
Mhm.
and they cannot do anything. And even looking at this one, right,
Mhm.
eight
One
minutes into
more.
the matchup, 13-1.
Mhm. One more thing that I noticed, Cerberus Ultimate, they tend to always farm in the side lane, not knowing that there's no vision at all. That's why the pickups come back and forth. Corky got picked up, Zaya got picked up, Corky got picked up again. So there, I mean, it's understandable that try to farm at your pace, but at the same time, there's no vision to associate with it. If, for example, the Lee Sin would be, for me, is a big threat, especially on solo farming. If you're a Corki, you're just going to Valkyrie out, but at the same time, he can just resonating strike back and kick you out of oblivion. But with the Zaya, the Darius is the one who is doing the dirty work. But for me, it's really that one uh, that really matters the most. The offset kills, getting as much carries as possible that's trying to farm. And yeah, Valiant Esports with a 1-0.
Yeah. I mean, can you really Valkyrie away up against a Lee Sin that can kick you, a Galio that can taunt you, uh,
Mhm.
um, a Darius that can hook you back,
Yeah.
a Lulu that can transform you?
Into a
I
bunny.
don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
it's just amazing to see this game number one. But this is a best of five, a
Yeah,
race to
it's a
three
best of five.
wins. So still, Cerberus Ultimate can have that journey to fight up against HAU and bring this back for their team. However, this tournament would not be a thing without our amazing
Mhm.
sponsor and partners. UAC 2021 is powered by Globe Telecom, our official telco sponsor,
Mhm.
Logitech G, our official gaming gear partner, and of course, Twitch Student, our platform partner.
And of course, guys, don't forget here at AcadArena, you can just explore you can start your esports career while still studying. Just go to acadarena.com and you can just explore scholarships if you want to partner up with the Alliance. And of course, we have a TikTok for memes, gameplay, and other student lives. Just follow at AcadArena.
Yeah, so much happening for AcadArena, guys. So if you guys are still in senior high school and college, if you have sibling, cousins, or friends,
Mm-hmm.
you can apply in scholarships and even join in on the alliance at acadarena.com/scholarships and
Mm-hmm.
acadarena.com/alliance to know more
Mm-hmm.
about everything that Acadarena can provide for you as a
Mm-hmm.
student and even as a leader here
Yeah,
in universities. But speaking of which, something amazing, something exciting is going to be game number two. We're
there we
jumping
go.
immediately into the graph. It's all eyes on deck because something would change here in game two.
And of course, still the grand finals, big stakes is here. Not really the steak that steak, beef steak, but not like that. A big steak for
We're
you,
talking
and
about
of
food
course,
here.
I'm hungry. Yeah, for a big steak for you, and of course, for your team,
Right.
and of course for your university, especially for Holy Angel University and PUP. There's a lot in stakes for here, and hopefully we still have a good game number two. It's really a treat so far here at UAC Season 3.
Yeah, we're going very, very quickly onto the draft here. Right. Twisted
Mm-hmm.
Fate is banned away by HAU. And for the side of Cerberus Ultimate, you have Gragas and Gaio. And Kafer, I want to hear your opinions on this. What do you think are the reasons for these bans?
Probably the Galio is a respect pan. Like the Galio really played well in the game number one. Gragas self-explanatory. It's like Gragas free flexible to be honest. Gragas can deal a lot of burst damage, or Gragas can be built as a mega tank. Either or, it's still a big no for me. Especially I'm a Gragas main in PC and Wild Rift, so entirely different story here. Twisted Fate, probably a comfort hero for aggressive, so they immediately banned the Twisted Fate out of respect. Also, Fizz, um, actually Fizz is scaling. Like it doesn't do much in the early game. In the late game or mid game, it would be a big disrupting problem, especially with Chum the Waters. Can disrupt your whole team fight. Lucian, on the other hand, he would be a threat to reckon with especially with the Brom combination in the bottom lane, or rather in the Dragon lane, and immediately another Lee Sin pick on the hands.
Of Haru.
Yeah, of Haru.
Finish your sentence.
It's just a
You're
of Haru. I just
right.
waiting for the sentence. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of Haru. Yeah,
But
and still the
we're seeing
Camille
Lee Sin.
answering back. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just giving your jungle a very comfortable situation. At least Sin is a very
Mm-hmm.
strong early aggressive champion. And both aggressive or not aggressive, but rather Draken and
Mm-hmm.
Haru know so much about Lee Sin that Valiant Esports has to lock it in immediately
Mm-hmm.
as it is open for them to pick it up. So now with that said and done, you have Cerberus Ultimate now going for the answer once again. Garen
Yeah.
and Camille. This
Mm-hmm.
duo first two picks for Cerberus Ultimate, time and
Mm-hmm.
time again, they want this, and
Mm-hmm.
they have gotten it. But now the question is, are they going
Mm-hmm.
to switch up their next picks? Because in
Mm-hmm.
game one, if they want to go for the same thing, it's not going to be exactly the same as well for Valiant Esports because they picked up Riven, and
Yeah.
now they want that Ari in their
Mm-hmm.
composition.
I mean, Ari is actually a pretty good pick if you're against a Garen to disable temporarily his rage to hit you with a big sword as early as the fight started. Not really the big sword, only his big sword that's currently wielding. Riven on the other hand, Riven versus Garen, like this goes a long way back in PC. Like we don't know if Riven counters Garen, Garen counters Riven. It's the same story as Darius and Garen, but we will see now on our game. But Rakan would be locked in. This would be interesting by Cerberus Ultimate on what they're trying to pull off.
Yeah, that is indeed the question, right? As we go into the next banning phase, we have Lulu banned away up against Valiant Esports. We've seen how Lulu was played up a while ago by HAU. A
Mm-hmm.
very obnoxious support. They have to remove it because it just gives you so much sustainability and
Yeah.
also just enchanting your teammates. As to such, they have to remove it in this specific draft because they already
Mm-hmm.
have support. They don't really need to consider any supports any longer for
Yeah.
this game number two, and Varus to follow through. They really want to remove the
Mm-hmm.
dual lane a while ago from HAU.
Mm-hmm. And most especially right now, the Brom is still open, so Valiant Esports can opt in for a Brom if they wanted to. But in this case, Rakan is up already in the board. We might be expecting Azaya. We might be expecting other one like Tristana, if they really want to be aggressive, not a pun, but really aggressive in this type of situation for PUP. You get my pun. You got my pun.
Yeah,
I'm
of
happy
course.
with that one. Yeah, they don't want to be really aggressive, but in this case, there you go. The Zyrakan, the lovers is inside the board, and in this case, Zyrakan is actually a force to reckon with if they're together. But the proper coordination, just in case for Valiant Esports, can nullify this couple in their laning phase, and they need right now the support ADC combo that can really stand a chance against the couple. I'm thinking of a Ziggs if you really want to snowball as early as possible. But how about
But they
you?
need AD. So
Yeah,
I don't know if
there's a
Ziggs is
Zena.
going to be a consideration here for Valiant Esports. But if you're saying it to be for the side of Cerberus Ultimate, I
Mm-hmm.
definitely can see that happening. But
Mm-hmm.
right now for Valiant Esports, Senna gonna be picked up. Who will be next one? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Is Senna going to be ADC? Is Senna going to be support?
Mm-hmm.
How? What are you planning here?
Uh, actually, I have wait,
Say support?
wait.
Hey, Senna, they're bringing it back. This is the
There
classic
you
duo that
go.
we've seen in
Oh,
professional
okay,
play. But you know what? They're
okay.
just baiting us. Never
Yeah,
mind. Ezreal, let's just go back to classic. Ezreal Senna here for Valiant Esports.
yeah.
What will the last pick be here for Cerberus Ultimate, though?
So they need a proper mid laner that can handle, especially on the rotations. Again, Ziggs can be a perfect option here. If you want to delete Ari as much as possible, you need another one like probably an assassin or just in case Aurelion Soul. But Ziggs would be an
Six?
option. Yeah, there you go.
I love it. You already stated that Ziggs could be an option. They have
Mhm.
so much peel, and this is what we're seeing a while ago, right?
Yeah.
Ziggs is a good pick, even from game number one that they've
Mhm.
shown us, right? You have
Yeah.
Garen, you have Camille, and you have Braum. Ziggs
Mhm.
would be there as a very great poking champion, but they did
Mhm.
not go for it. They'd rather go for a different mid laner, which was a Corki. Wherein
Mhm.
Corki is also a diver champion that doesn't really have
Mhm.
much range.
Yeah.
And now they're going for a different route. And Ziggs is an absolute phenomenal mid laner champion that
Mhm.
you have to fight against. And it's looking great for Cerberus Ultimate to bring it back if they could for game number 2.
Especially against an Ari, like both of them have a poking capability early on into the game. Ziggs have the bouncing bombs, Ari have the spirit orb. So it's still on how they execute it. But the thing here is early on in the laning phase, Ari can actually manipulate the early game. Like she had a charm, she have the orbs, she have the spirit orb, she can just spirit rush out of nowhere. But as long as there's a proper support from Camille or the Garen, of course, they can nullify the Ari as much as possible. But if you do that, the Riven will be open just for farming, and a farm Riven you don't want to mess with.
Yeah. It is difficult difficult champion to play against, right? As you said
Yeah.
it, when it comes to farm, if you have to fight up against him,
Hmm.
you'd rather not. You'd rather not. It's a Riven. Spam
Yeah,
out
it's a
his
Riven.
skills. He has knock up, he has stun, he has the Blade of Exile, which is just obnoxious. It's so
Hmm.
annoying to fight against, and she
Hmm.
has range. So
Yeah. The,
go
the
back if you see
only
Riven.
for me, if you saw the big sword in Riven's hands, if you're a Garen, just silence him and just spin to win, and then use your whole big sword to finish out the Riven. But in this case, I don't think that the Riven will hold back in this kind of matchup, as we are going to commence to our game number 2 of the grand finals of UAC season number 3. And guys, don't forget to like and share the stream, and of course comments. Cheer for your respective teams. Cheer if you are part of Holy Angel University or you're part of PUP. Commencing game number 2. Let's go to the Wild Rift.
Well, we'll see about that. It is the grand finals, Division A playoffs, UAC Wild Rift Season 3. And now, speaking of this draft, I want to go immediately onto the Ziggs because he was recently nerfed.
Mhm.
The base stats, the health, mana,
Mhm.
the
But
mana cost, the cooldown.
he also got buffed, the damage of the ball, but at the same time, ooh, burning up the flash HAU, but he may somehow regret it. But still, it will be in the hands of Valiant Esports. A first blood and another kill.
I didn't exactly know for sure if that was worth it for Turn because he used up peel, he used up flash to just get a secure kill. That could only have been 1-0, but because he did that, it's now 2-1. And let's actually see the stats in the items. I want to see who got the kill and who got the assist because that's important. Shino got the kill for those two champions. It's just a landslide win coming in for the side of Valiant Esports. Even though it's a 101, that's still great. Standard initial setup, early aggression here for HAU as they get another here in the riverbed, killing down Raken.
And yeah, the rotation again from HAU coming into play here. Again, a Lee Sin just jumping out of nowhere, just going rogue as early as possible just to have this first item, which is the Ghost Blade that he can really utilize to go around the map and at the same time wreaking havoc. But still, Ziggs still a big chance for me if you really want to make or break the game, because not only that Ziggs is just really annoying to play, especially in the team fight, but you really need to deal with his possible damage. Yes, the bouncing bomb is not really that big yet, but eventually you will really feel the damage.
I mean, as always, AP champions have
Ooh,
so
Charm!
much when it comes to down, but Charm will be phenomenal from Not Kelvin, bringing Ziggs closer to the turret, and now with that range, brings him down. Now, Draken here under the bottom side goes in for the Hexic Ultimatum, brings down Ezreal. Now, Komi will be the only one left, but good trade coming from Cerberus Ultimate.
And of course, with that rotation, Cerberus Ultimate needs to answer back to the early rotation that HAU is doing. And yet, Draken with the assistance going into the Dragon Lane's aid. But at the same time, it's still it's still neck and neck battle, like almost 1,000 gold advantage for the hands of Valiant Esports. And of course, I'm really waiting for the Ziggs to scale up. I'm really excited on how they will utilize the Ziggs in terms of the team fight, especially with a Grand Entrance Quickness combo, on how they will utilize all the possible crowd control that the couple can do. But speaking of crowd control, for me, Valiant Esports have the upper hand when it comes to crowd control.
Well, we'll see if that crowd control can be used and utilized to win fights, because now Lee Sin here in bot lane is ready. But he was seen because of the ward's placements here for PUP. Look at that. It's just one line with all vision in bot side.
Yeah. Of course, they need to be careful on a possible rotation, because you don't need to think about the junglers going around. You need to be careful also of the laners. Speaking of which,
but you know what? Careful is an understatement. They went in for the 5 vision wards here in the bot side. And when it comes to here for the Rift Herald, Cerberus Ultimate just went through that. Now they're fighting 2v1, but the charm will connect. Huge play.
oh no, here comes the Ziggs.
Will be delayed, but Valiant Esports here gathering back. They have to retreat. It is a 2v3. But Rakan is very low. That ultimate can bring him down, but not enough to finish him. Close call.
A really close call, but
Ari.
the Ari is just lying await. There's the charm, and of course the Spirit Orb decimating Desire.
Nice flank from Not Kelvin. They bring it back 6-3 currently. The Cloud Dragon is in favor for Valiant Esports as well. So once again, if hopefully we can see the stats in the equipments, I would prefer that. Because the Rift Herald was to the side of Cerberus Ultimate. So it's a 1-to-1 objective for both teams.
And yeah, speaking of which, they have the firepower on pushing the lane. So speaking of which, there's this Rava trying to jump in. Hextech Ultimatum will be pop up. And Haru might be in trouble, but no, they answered back immediately. Cool! That's cool.
Cool indeed. I mean, we're here in the winter season. Cool.
It's pretty
Playing
cool.
that very well. It's the winter buff, as you may call it, for that rare lane, Valiant Esports. And once again, Cool is showing so much here in this game. Similar to what he did from game number 1. 3-0-0 in 6 minutes into the matchup. That's amazing stuff there for HAU.
I mean, looking at the items right now, Zaya opt in for a Solari Charge Blade instead. So, I mean, I cannot really blame. There's still a lot of damage that you can offer from Solari Charge Blade. But for me, if you're going directly for Infinity Edge, that would be if you're really, really far ahead. But if really far behind, you need to have some alternatives. And this might be one of the best alternatives that I can think of, aside from the attack speed items.
Yeah, it brings up your crit rate, it brings up your power. We'll see if that's going to be enough. Because right now, Cool and not Kelvin is looking for a kill here in bot side. They actually went in for the charm onto Draken. Draken cannot live much longer, and Aggressive is just standing there. He just knows. She just knows that he cannot, or she cannot go anywhere.
Nice kick.
Now Hara is following through with a quick response onto Ezio, but Ezio just runs away with a grand entrance.
It's almost the same story as the last game, like trying to...
Turf?
Oh, the flash!
Not Kelvin is going for the flash with the charm, not connecting, and that was a huge step hit. And now he dies on the hands of Draken with the smite in play. That will be the 1-for-2, but regardless, PUP did a great job in answering with a kill onto the mid laner for HAU.
Yeah, and you need to think about how Valiant Esports will scale up, especially you don't really need to think about the Riven Lee Sin scale up. How about the Dragon Lane scale up? Technically Ezreal can really scale up around mid game, but how about the Senna? Senna is still a marksman,
Haru.
even though she's
Haru's
a support. Haru? Grand entrance?
Not going for that because Ezio went for the grand entrance, so good call with that CC from the support of PUP. And now the Rift Herald in the same time is going for the push bot lane, but Ziggs there, easy siege, easy turret as they take their first turret in this game.
Yeah, like Ziggs together with the Rip Herald, that's automatically a turret in your favor, but another grand entrance, but it will unfortunately miss. Just in case that it hits, she can just spirit out of nowhere. Kelvin still make Ari safe out of nowhere, but still, in this case, again, going back to the Zigs can really siege up, can really deal a lot of damage to the backlines, can really disrupt the objectives, but at the same time, need to be careful because Cool is playing the same game as the Darius in the previous game, which is flank, flank, and flank.
Yeah. But the flank for PUP this time around will not work. And that will be the Infernal Dragon for the side of Valiant Esports as we take it uncontested up against Cerberus Ultimate. And now the Rift Herald comes up next.
Oh, charm?
No, nothing that they can do.
Yeah, better just to hold off. But again, looking at the turret placing, like still in the hands of Valiant Esports, but eventually, if they play the Zigs good, better enough, rather, this would be a game set Service Ultimate when it comes to the objectives and the turrets. But we know what's happening.
Background for PUP, they're fighting on the jungle on top quadrant on this fight on this map, but so much difficulty to fight them because when you're fighting on a pitch, and then you have Hara, you have Cool, those CCs are going to connect. Whatever you do, it's going to do so. Now Valiant Esports is pressuring mid lane though, and top lane with the Rift Herald.
And of course, with the Camille, the only big crowd control that we really need to consider is, that Hextech ultimatum, and Rakan almost get taken down by Riven in that part. And still, 2 turrets in the hands of Valiant Esports. They need to do something. They need to change their game plan just in case.
I don't know if they could switch immediately on this one, on the fly, spontaneously switch their strategy, because right now they're on a huge deficit.
Oof.
They are on a huge disadvantage. That was close from Kome with a flash, but using your summoner spells disables you for later fights if ever something happens.
Yeah, and in this case, for me, if I was a Cerberus Ultimate, I would not waste my time on going all in with Senna, because there's still a bigger problems in hand. Ezreal just jumping around, Arcane Chef out of nowhere, and just hitting you time by time. But still, if they manage to pull off the combination again with the Grand Entrance and the Quick Disc, they might have the opportunity to turn things around in their favor, as long as, again, the execution-wise of, again, I will say it again, so micro and macro management on how their respective champions can scale up, or the proper positioning of their champions.
Yeah, micro, definitely important mechanics in this game. Definitely something that you want to practice here. And HAU is showcasing that specific skill in this game number 2. They're showing it big time. And Cool once again. Time and time again, I don't know how he does it. Even in game number 1, 11 minutes into the matchup, 401. Has not died out of yet. But right now,
no.
PUP is trying to make that up a difference here as Ari will be targeted, pinned down by the Stasis Enchant. PUP gets their 5th kill on this game. Now Saya forces out the Feather Storm because Cool is pressuring in. And now it's a
That's a
1v1
lot of
on
damage.
Kuyapal and Cool. But that is just the poke. The Blade of the Exile exiled PUP back into the base, back into the fountain. And Ezra with the True Shot Barrage got the snipe onto Kuya Fall. That makes it for a quarter kill here for Valiant Esports.
Actually, for me, going into an Ari is a really bad idea, especially if you don't have any vision going into the jungle. But with that being said, for
Taken.
that last team fight, is this the final straw for the second game? It is. Of course, the Senna will just tower lock Valiant Esports with 2-0.
Well, undefeated team, undefeated run. Even in the grand finals, HAU? Can't you lose one game so that we can go for 4 games or 5 games?
Is
But-
this the undefeated run that we're looking for? Last season's champion
I don't
doing
know.
it again?
I don't know. Let's ask HAU later on if they win this, as
Yeah.
we have an interview later on with the MVP. But for now, here in game 2, they
This is
have
the
won
last
it
one.
once again. It's a 2-0 sweep. It's match point already for game number 3. But before then, Gafer, let's talk about these highlights from game number 2. Paint me a picture. What happened all through that match?
I'm really expecting Desire really popping up as early as possible, but again, Haru with that Lee Sin wreaking havoc as early as possible, like keeping his presence known in this game. Like it's a really big threat if you're going to think about it. But again, the rest, especially Cool, right on time. If he's trying to go into the team fight like this one, like Cool, especially if Haru is in trouble, he just going to jump in and secure some kills. This is a perfect one. This is a perfect opportunity for them just in case there's no. I mean, most of their abilities are being burnt, but at the same time, PUP is just still trying to get around the game. Like they're still holding strong. They're racking up some kills. They're racking up some objectives. They're still farming technically, but in that last team fight where they mainly focused on Ari and didn't notice that Cool was around the corner to turn things around, they don't have any vision. So that's really risky play.
Right. You have just summarized game number 2 in a very lengthy situation there for both HAU and Cerberus Ultimate
Mhm.
from that game. An amazing show of skills and
Mhm.
power from HAU Valiant Esports. But more of
Mhm.
this stuff, more of this amazing play and amazing Wildrift scene here at UAC. When we come back after a short break, it's going to be Kafer and Hyron casting some games here for the grand finals.
We'll see you.
Nagabi kayo, Manong!
Enrollment eh.
After some time, yung kariton ni Manong Fishball nadagdagan ng may bike.
Hanggang kabilang kalye, nagtitinda na rin kayo, Manong?
Ang notebook.
Sunod na taon, pati menu nadagdagan.
Nax, may squid balls na!
Mahal kasi ang lapis. May kikyo pa dyan.
Bilib na bilib ako kay Manong Fishball. Akalain mong yung maliit niyang kariton, napalaki niya ng ganun? Ang nagagawa nga naman ng pangarap ng isang magulang.
Manong, anong grade na ba yung anak nyo?
Tagal nang tapos sa mga bata. Ako naman ngayon.
Manong Fishball ang tawag sa kanya. Pero sa mga araw na yun, many years ago, higit pa sa fishballs ang binigay niya sa akin. He taught me na walang di natutupad na pangarap sa taong handang magsumikap.
Dami niya na.
Panghapunan!
Pantoga.
Atin ang pangarap. Atin ang pagsisikap. Atin ang mundo. Globe. Manong Fishball ang tawag sa kanya. Everyday siya kung dumating. Kaya parang institusyon na siya dito sa area namin. Minsan, sobrang late na. Andun pa rin si Manong Fishball.
Ginagabi kayo, Manong!
Enrollment eh.
After some time, yung kariton ni Manong Fishball nadagdagan ng may bike.
Hanggang kabilang kalye, nagtitinda na rin kayo, Manong?
Ang notebook.
Sunod na taon, pati menu nadagdagan.
Nax, may squid balls na!
Mahal kasi ang lapis. May kikyo pa dyan.
Bilib na bilib ako kay Manong Fishball. Akalain mong yung maliit niyang kariton, napalaki niya ng ganun? Ang nagagawa nga naman ng pangarap ng isang magulang.
Manong, anong grade na may anak nyo?
Tagal nang tapos sa mga bata. Ako naman ngayon.
Manong Fishball ang tawag sa kanya. Pero sa mga araw na yun, many years ago, higit pa sa fishballs ang binigay niya sa akin. He taught me na walang di natutupad na pangarap sa taong handang magsumikap.
Dami niya na.
Panghapunan!
Pantoga.
Atin ang pangarap. Atin ang pagsisikap. Atin ang mundo.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and our non-binary friends, to the third season of the University Alliance Cup featuring Wild Rift, the grand finals with Cerberus Ultimate from PUP with our backs to the wall, and Valiant Esports looking to continue their undefeated run. We'll be your shoutcasters for what might be the last game in this series. I'm Hyron, with me is Kafer, but let's see if they're in the squad of Cerberus Ultimate can pull a reverse sweep revenge against Shino and the gang. How are we doing today, Kafer?
Pretty good. First two games, Valiant Esports really showing us on how undefeated they are in the season, and probably will try to close up on the undefeated streak until the championship. But let's see on how Cerberus Ultimate will close it up 2-1.
We're gonna have to see. Looks like the bans, TF Lucian still coming in. Of course, same bans for HAU. It's pretty much always the respect here against PUP Cerberus Ultimate here coming in. But of course, we're gonna have to see how this all plays out. Nunu and the J4, so there's gonna be probably J4 on Kuya Fall, and of course Dragon's gonna be bringing that Nunu. Very solid front line already with aggressive, possibly on the Diana. And the Fizz for Kelvs here, something that's he has been used to the Ari, but now it doesn't seem like they're gonna be picking it up.
Yeah, and current lineup, Nunu, Jarvan, so expect more sieges as possible. But Haru's Olaf, like I've been hearing Haru's one of his signature is Olaf aside from Sin. So we would be expecting a lot on this type of situation, especially right now. Cerberus Ultimate is in the blue side, not the red side. So might be change of plans, especially on how aggressive they want to be. But at the same time, they need to be wary on their mistakes in the first and the second game. The first game would be number one would be overextending, not really overextending in a way in the team fight, but overextending in the farming that they kept on getting off guard by Haru and Cool. Second game, I probably go my perspective of the second game on what really happened is the targeting.
Yeah, like a lot of times they focus on one thing and they got caught out by something else that they didn't expect. And I think that's where the PUP plays out. We've seen them constantly be ahead, be very, very aggressive. And I think their losses during the group stage were because of exactly that. They're not a team that is very used to playing on the back foot. They want to be the ones pulling the trigger. They want to be the ones diving in. Of course, true to the dynamic duo of fair and aggressive, they just want to go in and get some damage. When you're behind, you don't have as much, let's say, you don't have as much of a privilege or window to go in like that without getting punished hard. Meanwhile, Cool played the Darius game one. Very, very scary. Stack up those hemorrhage stacks. And because of how PUP plays, it's very easy for him to build up hemorrhage stacks, max it out, and then just spread the pain. It's going to
Yeah.
be very, very difficult as well with the healing and the shields from the Senna.
Mm. And imagine like this is a unique matchup. Darius and Jarvan
Mhm,
the in the Baron lane.
mhm,
For me, it's kind of mixed match. Like
mhm,
don't get me wrong about it because Jarvan's kit it's kind of more on the dive, go out or
mhm,
lock someone. Darius is like dunk dunk dunk, like a
mhm,
completely
mhm.
different story. But
Yeah,
still, aggressive might going another Corky another try and wait Jace. So this might
it's going to
be
be cool on the
cool,
Jizz.
cool on the Jace and Shino on the Darius. Oh, okay.
Okay, that
This is
is
unique.
yeah. I was expecting something else. Of course, we have seen Senna's play like this before. Support this on Shino. This is very strange. They could just be limit testing at this point, but of course, this is something
Mhm,
that they might have planned before. This
mhm.
is definitely gonna be a strange one. Their main source of engage here are gonna be like Flash Apprehend from Shino and
Yeah.
Kelvs with a Chum the Waters. Otherwise, they're gonna have to rely on, let's say,
Mhm,
picking off someone that was out of position by getting them with a root from Senna, or
mhm,
after poking them out with a Shock Blast. Meanwhile,
mhm.
this comp from PUP Service is a lot more standard, right? You have your
Yeah.
good front line with Nuno Jarvan. You have someone to brawl it out or dive with the Diana. Of course, you have just that Corky and the Ludo combo, just very, very consistent as a
Mhm,
marksman lane. So we'll see how that fares. This Darius could be poked a lot in lane, but
mhm.
with the snares and the speed boost from Kome, they could
Yeah.
actually reach the Corky after the
Mhm,
Valkyrie. But we're gonna have to see here. This does seem like this does strike me as a Valiant kind of limit testing a little bit.
yeah.
They do have a very big buffer in this
Mhm,
best of five, but Cerberus Ultimate, they're giving it their all here, and I'm sure that
mhm,
Valiant Esports is giving them enough respect that they have prepped this before. We're gonna have to see.
mhm. And of course, speaking of which, we are now going into the game number 3 of UAC Season 3 Wild Rift Grand
Mhm.
Finals between PUP's Cerberus Ultimate and of course HAW's Valiant
Mhm.
Esports. We're commencing it right now. And speaking of which, the lineup of Valiant Esports, the way I see it is dive.
Yeah, and then
Literally dive.
like I said, with PUP Service Ultimate, that's also their style. But when you
Mhm.
have two teams that like to dive, it's usually the one that's the devil is in the details, right? So that's all about
Yeah.
micro.
Mhm,
Macro, I think HAU is ahead and as well in micro. So
mhm.
they're ahead on both counts. So PUP needs to kind of shift their priorities, shift the way they approach these fights, right? They can't just dive and
Yeah.
butt heads against HAU consistently because
Mhm.
that's just a recipe for disaster when you're facing off in a straight up like horns locked, heads butting kind of deal with HAU. But here they could
Snowball.
try and punish Shino here. Does not have too much. Doesn't get exhausted as well. Might get knocked up with Snowball, but here comes the dive onto
Ooh.
Kome. They do pick it up, hard punishing Shino and Kome just walking up, and of course Snowball, very very good for lane ganks.
Mhm. And of course, with that biggest snowball, really secured the first kill of the game. And speaking of which, cool with the stacks of Conqueror doesn't really go all in because he knows
Mhm.
his limitations. There's the flashes that come into play. But speaking of the kills in the bot lane, like really punishing
Mhm.
not really going overboard, but still how Nunu is usually play. Is usually overboarding.
Like get that snowball, just go in. But at that point, they already got the knockup onto Kome. Sheena was already
Oh.
out. They get another kill here against Haru. So
Mhm.
that's crucial. Preventing, just delaying the clear from the Olaf means that it's gonna be a little bit later before this Olaf starts going in for the hard dives with a Ragnarok. Meanwhile, cool. A lot of damage here. Where's the Shock Blast? No Shock Blast Accelerate for now. He
Mhm.
knows he's already pushed away Kuya Fall. He doesn't need to expend any more mana. Save it for the minions. So
Mhm.
early game PUP, this could be an opportunity for them to get into their comfort zone where they're the ones pulling the trigger.
Mhm. And exactly like that, like Haru being shut down as early as possible, it's like nullifying the battery. Like Haru is the one who is really initiating the team fights in the first and the second game. And this time there is a different Haru that we're seeing. Haru being really careful, especially on right now he's been picked up once, so it's kind of behind once. Unlike right now the Nunu, who is on the contrast that really wants to dive big a snowball and after the zero later on to the game, really like shifting gears, and let's see how Valiant Esports will adapt in this shifting.
And of course, when Darius gets behind, it's very difficult for them to actually get back. The good thing is there's only been one kill here, so there is still this, what do you call it? There's still this window where if Shino is able to get like a double kill with Noxian Guillotine, which is up right now, they could potentially start snowballing from there and basically get back the losses that they incurred from that first pledge. But for now, they're fine. Kome is going to scale up even as that supports, and for sure, by the time Drake spawns and they had Rift Herald as well, they're going to be trying to, I do think that they can try trading it. I'm sure because PUP is on blue side, they would much rather have the Rift Herald here than fight over the Drake and get apprehended. For now, Snowball going to be another thing. Nothing too much from that. Just basically jockeying for control over this dragon area.
Well, yeah, but of course, right now, the objectives are coming into play. There's a Drake and of course the Rift Herald. Probably let's see how the priority will end up now. If they will just focus on the Herald first, which is really what we're seeing: Herald first, or Drake first, or Herald. But in this case, they want the Herald first. They want the early pressure in pushing the lanes. They want as much as possible to have the presence known. But speaking of which, Draken is now starting this is the Cloud, so this would be having a great advantage over to a Nunu. Like, he's really known to be really pesky in terms of the movement speed that he can really have, especially with the biggest snowball. And speaking of which, it's a split objective.
Yeah. So it actually ended up with PUP going for Drake and HAU going for Rift Herald. They're gonna try and it's gonna be a fight here, Cataclysm, but always just gonna get flashed over, and that's gonna be the non-shadow here. The Ignite might take down Haru here, but let's see if QFall gonna try and finish the kill off. That's gonna be him between Pool. He doesn't have any mana here, but he does have his passive rocket, and Haru right around the corner here dodges the shock blast, or actually just straight up missed. But that is just going to be one kill here being taken, or two kills being taken here as well. Meanwhile, bot lane, Draken tries to go for a play here, playing with fire here under turret, believing in the shield, believing in the consume as well if ever a win comes up. But they are taking a lot of gold here from this turret.
And of course, right now, like it's still in both ways. There's kills, there is pushes, but at the same time, the gold is not really significantly shifting. Like Valiant Esports still having the slight lead, slight deficit. It's still anybody's ball game. Like the kills is not really racking up as much. But still, if you're behind Darius, you're still behind Darius. If you're behind Olaf, you're still behind Olaf. Of course, you need to be wary about your teammates scaling on how you will go in as much as possible. But again, with the Jarvan and the Nunu, you need to be careful on your possible rotations, especially with the Nunu. He can just absolute zero you while you're walking out to the bush. But let's see, of course.
Yeah, here's the biggest difference is the fact that this 1k difference is in the Olaf ahead, and the Diana ahead is the difference here for aggressive. But you're going to be going for a fight, almost taking down Kome as well. Shino going to try and play keep away, defending the turret, but it's going to go down very, very soon. Kelvin is right around the corner. He does have Chum the Waters, looking for a good opportunity. He's going to be scrying orb just to decide if there's anyone else looking up, because they didn't have vision of Kuya Fall until now. Was just going to defend a turret, but there's going to be a turret. Will it be a trade of turrets, though, is the thing. It does seem like Kuya Fall is doing his darndest to try and defend this. We might actually get a kill here. Yes, he will get it onto Haru. Cool does finish off the turret, but I don't think he's in any mood here to try and go for it. Goes back in with a hammer time. He misses the flag and drag, which allows Cool to pick up the kill while in range form. That is going to end up as a 1-for-1 turrets exchanged as well, so it ends up pretty much even. However, still, this is 1k gold ahead here for aggressive, which she can pivot into a lead if they try and fight for Ocean Break.
And speaking of which, Jarvan with the Sunfire is scary. Like time by time you see pulses of fire while fighting the Jarvan. And Jarvan with, of course, the lens at the same time negating as much armor as possible. But still the Jace with the range and of course the melee advantage. Like there's specific stats that each weapon possess, but yeah, really wise on the Jace on trying to evade the lances and switching into a hammer form, so his stats will go up and still fight the Jarvan, even though there's pulses of fire.
Now, while That is they can play around Cool right now. I think that's the play here for how he's the one that has the finished item plus the Serrated Dirk and the Caulfield's Warhammer. So Black Cleaver plus Serrated Dirk. Serrated Dirk is a very like underpriced item for the stats that it gives you, right? So
Yeah.
they can potentially leverage this going into Drake, where if PUP is the one starting it, or even Herald, if PUP is the one starting it, they can like kind of poke them out with Cool, and then when someone's poked down enough from Cool and Kome, they can actually go for an all-in with with Kelvs going in for the Chum the Waters, and then rush them down with Shino and Haru. That while they're slowed down by the Chum the Waters, so that is something that they can do. But of course, PUP Service Ultimate, they have a very by-the-book comp, so they just have to play it front to back basically, while keeping fair from Kelv's clutches.
Now trying to get the Herald, just going for a possible box out. Again, composition of Valorant Esports, will if they are all together, they can win the team fight. But still, Cerberus Ultimate have all the sustain that they have in their arsenal.
Oh, they're gonna catch out with a Cataclysm. Kome almost getting taken down. Aggressive comes in with a Lunar Rush, but here comes the Dawning Shadow as well to turn the tides of the fight in HAU's favor. Now gonna get pushed away. Quayfall having to jump over. They're still trying to finish up the Rift Herald, but HAU's going for the collapse. They do secure the Rift Herald. Quayfall though with an absolute 0 to try and keep them away. Here comes Cool, is able to finish off there, but now he's in the enemy's clutches. Now Shino, can he go over? He doesn't have his flash just yet. Snowball's trying to keep away. Cool gets shut down here by Drac, and in the end it's going to be a 2-for-4. Herald is secured though by PUP, which means he can try and leverage this into a turret takedown on Baron Lane. Let's break that down, Kafer.
This is what I'm just talking about a while ago. In team fights, Valorant Esports is pretty solid. But in terms of the positioning, Cerberus Ultimate have that kind of advantage. But what happened here is not really just a team fight. Bake-Offs is one of the name of the game for Valorant Esports. Yes, they're still trying to secure the Herald, but at the same time, remove the possible team members that can disrupt the team fight. One would be Lulu. That's really a big threat for Valorant Esports, especially for engaging in.
Ooh, Chum the Waters misses.
Yeah. Chum
It's gonna be big here. Let's see if HAU goes for it. They get the snare here onto Aggressive, but the Kelvin's looking for the kill here. Playful Tricks are out to dodge the rest of the damage. Undertow's not going to hit through, but HAU is still pressing the attack here. The Herald did not get full value. It's going to be delayed because it didn't get the full kill onto the turret here, but at least it's very low here. Cerberus can pick it up once they get a good enough wave, but HAU quick on the beat here. They're immediately going to pressure onto Dragon Lane side, preventing PUP from getting that early gold from that turret. They do pick out the turret right now, and as they come in, they take out the turret, they steal the Krugs, and then they're out already, delaying the turret take mid as well.
And one more thing that I noticed, Acceleration Gate plus Ragnarok is a really scary thing. Like you can see Olaf immediately into her backline, trying to damage the Corki as much as possible. That there you go, Status enchant is up for the Corki, so he might mitigate some damage into the team fights by just going all Zhonya's. But at the same time, there's a possible follow-up of the Jace, Acceleration Gate, and of course a Shock Blast. But of course, let's see on how they will handle, especially Pool is not using the Darius. I mean, Pool is really good right now on Jace, but this AD Darius is it's kind of good apprehending someone and just securing some assists. But for kills wise, it's not yet on his level.
But the thing is, he just needs Cool and Haru to succeed, and Kelv, right? The benefit here is that Darius is not their main damage dealer. It's gonna be Kelv's, Haru, and Cool, right? So Shino can actually be fine with 0, 1, and 1 on the Darius. He's not behind. He's actually on par, right? He's on par. Fair is the one that's ahead, but I guess behind is relative. But Shino is fine. All he needs to do is keep Cool and Haru and Kelvs going, and then he can like kind of leech and ride the coattails of their success, right? So I think they're aggressive. Snowball's gonna try and save her for now, but it's gonna be a 3v5 here if they're not careful. Shino comes in with the Noxian Guillotine, doesn't get to execute onto Aggressive. There's gonna come in. Playful Trickster though, try and get some chip damage off, while in comes the Olaf. Ragnarok does not care about your CC. There's gonna come in, try to take out Thair. It's going to be Kelvs going down here with Thair, trying to go for Kome next. Flash is over. That's gonna be the reckless swing, not hitting. But Kome Kome still alive. He can prevent these backs here, sacrificing his life so they can get this top lane inhibitor, the Baron lane inhibitor here being taken out by Cool. That was a gambit. You already lost 3 members. What's one more when you can ensure the turret takedown, and HAU now has permanent pressure mounting on that side of the map?
Yeah, I just noticed that Cole is just pushing around the corner, which is pretty good. Not really joining the team fight on the bottom lane, and just opt in case to not letting them back after that team fight. Yeah, Shino, after that Noxian Guillotine, immediately the Wild Root has been activated, so they nullify the damage as much as possible. But still, for me, the big threat, just in case for diving into the backline, if I reserve this ultimate, is really the Fizz and of course the Jace. But in this case, the Jace is just playing pretty cool, pun intended. Playing pretty cool, not turning the team fights into kills. He just wants the team fight to disrupt the team's way of like positioning.
And that was a pretty good maneuver here from HAU. They were able to divert the attention of PUP, Kome with the sacrifice as well. So here, they are going to have a pretty big advantage here. This is only like, what, 2k gold lead on the side of HAU here.
Yeah.
But the thing is that PUP, okay, I'm going to go in with a snowball here, come in for, they do secure the turret, I mean the Drake here, but Kelv's already taking out Ezio. Means the Draken is going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's going to get taken down as well. 2 members. This could be their signal to go for the Baron here. It does seem like they're pathing right around that corner. They could, yeah, they don't really have any turrets to take on the top side here. So for now, Del just playing with fire here, swimming around with a playful trickster, not initiating just yet. They don't have any ults up, but in comes Cool to the skies, but he's gonna get trapped here. Quickfall trying to flag and drag out there. Moonfall onto aggressive, tries to take out the backline, does take out Kome, but this is going to be in the middle. Yes, Lunar Rush in the flash does get the escape, but Apprehend means that HAU picks up 2 kills. That's a full ace, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be the Baron here, being taken by the Valiant Esports, taking wing like archangels in the sky. Heaven or hell, let's rock in this game 3.
Yeah, not really considering the toxic in the game, but yeah, with that being said, I didn't really expected that they will secure the last 2 kills that needed with that flash apprehend. That will, again, the icing on the cake. And this is the part that Valiant Esports is really good in the kind of composition. Not really engaging into big team fights, because in big team fights they know their limitations. They have they need to deal about the Nunu, they need to deal about the Jarvan. In this case, a possible Dragon Steal that's been trying to think about for Draken, going inside, using the Absolute Zero, but again, still not enough. Securing the kill one by one until all of them is being wiped, and secure the biggest prize there is, which is the Baron.
And here, HAU, like I said, Shino doesn't need to get those kills with an Noxian Guillotine. He just needs to ride the success of Cool, Haru, and Kelvin, and there he's able to get the apprehend, the crucial apprehend. And now earlier his score was kind of meh. Now it's 1-2-5, which is actually decent. Almost catching up to his quote-unquote lane counterpart, which is there. And here,
Chum the Waters.
Oh, that's going to be Chum the Waters to try and block out the escape, having to walk away. Quailfall is able to get away, but his turrets are still falling, and HAU's offense is still mounting here. Nice pivot here. The wave clear is good for PUP, but how long can it last here? That's going to be the Cataclysm to try and take out that Olaf, but it is going to be still the inhibitor being taken, the turret going down here bot line.
And they have the intel, like there's no Cataclysm. They can just try to go all in for this one. But in this case, the Absolute Zero is in, so they need to be careful about the Absolute Zero, especially in the positioning. Chum the Waters will be up any moment now. So if you see like a Chum the Waters here, you need to be careful, especially in the positioning. If the Lulu got hit with Chum the Waters, this would be a big problem for them. Speaking of which, it has been pushed immediately.
Chum the Waters growth here, but Draken gonna try immediately canceled. The Absolute Zero did not come through as well. Immediately canceled there by HAU Valiant, and now that's one big front line taken away. 50 seconds on the clock. All inhibitors are down here. Flag and drag over to try and take down Cool, but here comes the Long Shadow as well, just for Kome to bring out this utility. There comes in though with a Valkyrie trying to pick off Kome, but he's gonna be stuck with a rock in a hard place, having to flash over as well. But Cool finishes him off with a hammer, or rather with the cannon. And in comes Cool, waiting for his cannon form for the Shock Blast. Gets cut by a minion right there. But it is going to be HAU opening up the base of PUP. 3 inhibitors down. They just have to wait for Elder and finish the game from there.
Yeah, and now aggressive wants Kelvin, and there
Uh-oh.
goes Ladies Enchant. I don't know what will happen. There we go.
Not enough. Not
Not
fast
enough.
enough to go for the playful trickster, trying to get
Yeah.
a kill on aggressive.
Yeah.
And so far, though, very good repel there from PUP, but they still got 3 inhibitors down, and how they're going to be coming onto that Mountain Elder very, very soon. Very
Yeah,
quickly.
like Valorant Esports really need this reset, so they just opt in like after.
Wait, can they steal it? I mean, they can get there because of the
They
death
can.
timers, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they
And
can, yeah.
Draken is on the Nunu, but Haro is here. He's gonna be the gatekeeper of the Drake.
Cool
Let's see.
already have the teleport enchant, so she can just jump into Haru, but still this is still
This is Nunu.
Elder. Yeah.
But they're coming in quick here. They might get the Elder, but it's a very, very
There
tanky
we go.
Drake. In comes the Olaf. Here comes the ulti from the Senna as well. They're going to be able to disrupt this. They do get the kill onto Haru.
Absolutely.
Aggressive, looking for an in here on the Komi, but here comes an Auction Guillotine, able to take down one. Flashes over for aggressive, gets cut down though before
They
you can
finished
get
it.
the next one, but that was just a smoke screen as HAU picks up the kill, forcing PUP into a tough spot. 3-0 clean, staying undefeated. And man, HAU, they've got to be feeling proud of this roster coming from the championship. I think only swapping out one member, and they're still going strong.
It's actually super smart. Again, with the diversion game, with the bind games, like, yes, we're trying to get the Elder, but at the same time, nah, I'll go directly to the base. And 2 of them went directly to the base and just finish up the game. It's a pretty nice game, to be honest. PUP is trying to get back on their foot. And again, congratulations, Valiant Esports, our Season 3 UAC champion. Yeah.
They are indeed, once again, the champions for our Wild Rift UAC. And HAU Valiant Esports, they have been an organization that's been a constant presence in collegiate esports, even before AcadArena. So seeing them here, I'm sure that, of course, Kinzon's very, very proud of this roster as well. And that just goes to show how big organizational infrastructure can go a long way, right? Like, this roster, of course, is very, very talented. But because of HAU's organization, they have a lot of support staff as well, coaches. I'm here, they're even all in one spot, right? They're in a boot camp. So that's a big, big plus to the team's synergy and their mindset going into these games. Meanwhile, PUP, Pylon Esports has been a very strong contender in collegiate esports as well, but they haven't matured to the same extent as, let's say, HAU. And especially this roster is very new. Like they went up, rose from the ashes, rose from the bottom, all the way to the finals. This is still something to be proud of for Cerberus Ultimate's roster. Aggressive there, the rest of the gang, they can stand tall knowing that they at least stood up to the greats of Valiant Esports.
For me, just quick words, like, Valiant Esports still prove that they're the best when it comes to UAC and Wild Rift. Cerberus Ultimate still a pretty good job coming in this far, and maybe in season 4 you still have the time, you still have the knowledge that you need to bring into the table, and of course you still have the opportunity to prove yourselves in the next season. And again, still congratulations for all of the teams that joined UAC for Wild Rift.
And I think we're gonna have an interview with our MVP. Pinag-aawayan pa ng prod tsaka ng Marshals kasi sino
Ayun
talaga
nga
yung MVP. I think it's between Cool and Kome, right? And
Kome,
stats-wise, it should be Cool. But you can make a very strong argument for Kome. A lot of those decisions that are on Kome that ensured them a lot of advantages, right? Like Kome being able to survive, and then so much value from the Senna, from the healing, as well as from the ulti, just to turn the tides of the fight. Like, dapat mapipick off na si Kome, but since he's able to survive for as long as possible, all those ultis burnt for the Senna. Meanwhile, the Senna is still bringing a lot of value, right? So, and as well as that back cancel, when Cool was going for the inhib turret, Kome made the decision, okay, I'm going to give my life here to stop the ports. And that was definitely worth it for HAU. So you can make a strong arguments against either. I'm just going to have to wait for... yeah, there we go. Cool. He's the Logitech Lodi of the series, right? Cool. Coming in with 21 kills, only 3 deaths, and 15 assists. So I don't know how to do math. So 21 plus 15... That's gonna be divided by
But
3. So that's like he has a KD of 12.
yeah,
He has KD of 12. So that's crazy. And you can see his mechanical mastery over the champions that he plays, right? Like the Darius obviously was a big one, but I think Jace and what was his pick in the second game? Let me double check. It was Riven, right?
Yeah,
So Riven and Jace,
Riven.
both very mechanically skill cap champions, right? So he was able to bring out the maximum value from each of these champions. But
Yeah.
I do think you can still make an argument for Kome, but Cool definitely brought out the mastery of his carry champions here in the Baron lane.
I'm really impressed by Cool, like taking advantage of the early lead, securing it into the mid and late lead. But in the last game, Cool just kept his cool. Yeah, another pun intended. Just keeping composure. Like he's the one who's really shot calling when it comes to the situation that's really dire. But in this case, whatever happens, Cool is our Lodi of the series by Logitech. For me, like the first time that they asked who's your MVP, I didn't hesitate. Cole is my man.
Yeah, I'm usually the one that this takes us some time to decide, right? It's like, hey, yeah, this guy is the obvious MVP, right? Like, cool. But I wanted to like maybe get a second choice. Okay, if not Cool, yeah, you could make because every
Haru
single
for
part
me.
of this, yeah, Haru, Kome, but I think every single member of this roster, that's what's good about this HAU roster is that every single one of them is like a star in itself, right?
Yeah.
Like definitely Shino, Kelvs, and Haru were all big parts of the success. Where if you take out one, Cool might not have succeeded as well as he could have. If you take out Kome, the rest maybe Cool couldn't have succeeded as much as he could have. It's and so on and so forth. I'm really proud of this roster. As I'm sure Kinzon is proud as well while they're at the boot camp here. But of course, talking about PUP, you've gone a long way, right? And I'm glad about. And one good thing about PUP and as well earlier TUP is that they're increasing the diversity that we have of players here in the AcadArena. Like before, I think that's something that's important as well with Cerberus Ultimate and TUP reaching this stage of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Was that they it sets a precedent that right that so far esports has been male dominated, and having aggressive and jelly succeeded so much is a step in the right direction at normalizing that. But of course, back to the championship, I think ready na ang ating interview dito with Kome, no? Wait, so it's Kome because they're sending Kome for the interview. So let me double check if we are given the go for the interview. We're gonna get the interview for you guys in a little bit, just setting up some technical stuff. Since we just we kind of kidnapped them from their Discord channel to here.
Yeah. Kumakain pa daw sila ng
Parang
pizza.
kumakain ng pizza. Maagang celebration. Sana all may pizza, di ba? Sana all. Pero 5, pero hindi pa naman 6 o'clock. So, baka pag inggit kayo, orderin kayo ng pizza for dinner. But, but we're gonna have to see. We'll wait for confirmation for Prod. But now, let's have a little bit of a thank you to our sponsors, right? So, the UAC, the University Alliance Cup, wouldn't be a thing without our amazing sponsors and partners. UAC 2021 is powered by Globe Telecom, Logitech G, and Twitch students. So if you want to hashtag keep playing and supercharge your gaming setup, go to logitech.acadarena.com now. And of course, we've got our scholarships. I think you can talk a little bit about that, Kafer.
Yeah, of course, scholarships for AcadArena. If you're starting up, if you're really interested in the esports industry, you can be a player, you can be a coach, you can be like you can coach them, you can I don't know, it's limitless. You want to be a back end, you want to be like a pro player, AcadArena is the perfect place for you. Just if you want to be a scholar in AcadArena, just go to acadarena.com/scholarships. If you want your organization to be part of the alliance, go to acadarena.com/alliance, and you can start your career from here.
And definitely, the alliance program is a big part as well. It gives support to these organizations. Of course, a lot of the manpower, a lot of the work is being done by the students themselves in the organizations. There's Valiant Esports, Pylon Esports from PUP, West Esports from WVSU, Gearhawks. Basta yung lahat ng teams na umabot sa playoffs, and of course, like the other usual names that we see, like USC Teletigers, Operation Esports, LG,
hopefully my school, like my alma mater, can join the alliance. I'll try to convince them. And of course,
Yeah.
my alma mater is Asia Pacific College, so APC.
So,
Baka naman join the next
oh, so
one.
pag taga APC ka, you can start working. You can gather with other like-minded esports people, right?
There we go.
Konting preview lang dito para sa
Uh,
ating interview. Like, so let's yep. So we're just gonna have to wait for the ghost signal for this one. But I think
there we go.
There we go. So
pwede na kayong pwede na kayong magsalita.
wait, hold
Valiant
on.
Esports.
Yeah, so Valiant Esports, what's up? So I believe, akala ko isa lang yun pala. We've got like 3 of them.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But may tanong ako may tanong ako after this one. Like pwede yung akong first question.
Sige.
Pero inintay ko lang sila magsalita. Pero
Sarap na
guys,
sarap sila pizza. Ngumuya pa si Kuya.
Oo nga. Yun. Hello?
Hello.
Ayun. Valiant Esports, congratulations.
Ay, thank you
Ba't
po.
nahiya kayo?
Shy type po kami.
So, first question, kamusta yung pizza?
Masarap naman kasi panalo.
Ayun.
Pero kakainin nyo pa rin ba yan pag talo? Pero ibang feeling ng
Na-order
pizza.
na.
Order na eh. Hindi yun. Sige. Okay, continue.
So, ano yung yung confidence nyo going into the grand finals knowing na undefeated kayo from the group stage until the playoffs? What kept you going na, guys, this is ours?
Siyempre yung pressure nandiyan pa din. Siyempre, kami yung defending champion. Tapos yung kalaban namin, PUP, underdog yan. Yung kakapasok pa lang nila, di ba? Tapos biglang grand finals. Parang kung matalo kami, parang sampal sa amin yun.
Lalo na that PUP, they pretty much, I think, Division B ba sila last season, no?
Division.
Yeah. So, going all the way here to the finals, definitely to challenge you guys. You had to defend your title. And of course, this season has been a very good one. Sabi nga ni Kiefer, undefeated kayo. But of course, this comes with a lot of challenges still. Throughout this season, what were the most challenging things for this roster? Kasi for the most part, pareho yung roster. I think yung nag-iba lang si Haru pumasok, di ba?
Nawala si Montesor po tsaka si Nax. Tapos pinalitan ni Haru.
So ano yung mga challenges from season 2 na na-experience, coming from season 2 na na-experience nyo this season na na-overcome nyo naman?
Yung ano po siguro yung comms. Mas lalong gumanda yung comms namin kumpara dati. Tsaka na-apply namin yung mga learnings namin nung nag-PPGL kami, nung galing kami pro.
So talagang dinala nyo yun, tapos nag-adapt kayo dun sa bagong roster, then dalawa yung bago. So iba talaga yung dynamic kasi pag kahit dalawa lang yung tanggalin mo sa pasok mo, mag-iba talaga yung dynamic dun. So it's great that you were able to kind of smooth that challenge over as well. Pero moving forward, wala pang graduating sa inyo, no? Like mga first to third year pa lang yung roster.
Puro po kami third year tayo lahat, no? Third year po lahat.
Third year. So, may isang taon pa kayo basically. So, what's next for this roster? Tuloy-tuloy kayo hanggang graduate kayo? Or
Baka tuloy-tuloy naman po.
Hanggang graduate. So, for sure, you guys, have you been scouting na mga freshmen, mga sophomores na pagka-graduate nyo after next year, sila yung magta-take up?
Si ano na po bahala dun? Yung namin, yung manager, si Kinzon.
Kinzon. So, sure, proud na proud si Kinzon sa inyo dyan sa bootcamp.
Siya nga po naglibre sa mga
Sana all. Pero ito, may tanong lang ako, out of curiosity lang. Sinabi mong one more year, third year na kayo. After graduation, ano yung next para sa roster ng yung roster
long term si Kiefer.
Long term na ako. Will you be going into like super professional scene or playing coaches, mga ganun? Ano bang plan niyo?
Sa ngayon po, wala pa po talaga eh. Kasi parang binabalance pa lang namin yung studies tsaka yung esports talaga. Bali, wala pa kami dun sa pang long term na talaga.
I mean, that's fair. Especially since you're going into a course, no? A college degree, you're planning to probably go after that once you graduate as well. Pag the opportunity, if the opportunity presents itself, siguro, pero that's still a long ways to go. But once again, congratulations to you guys as well. Any last statements? Any last na pasalamat para sa mga fans nyo dito,
Oo.
Cool?
Una sa lahat, thank you sa mga sumubaybay sa'min, sa mga sumuporta, tsaka na rin sa PUP.
Mhm.
Magkakilala rin naman kami ng mga players nila, eh, kaya yun, GG's sa kanila.
Yun, sportsmanship, which is super important. And syempre, Cool, ikaw ang matinding MVP, so
Um,
congratulations.
Thank you po.
Congratulations. Parang nilabas mo talaga yung mastery mo kasi medyo mataas yung ano, 'di ba? Yung skill cap ng ng Raven tsaka ng Jace dito. So you brought out the best of those champions in this best of 5 and I'm sure everyone here is proud of you as well. So thank you so much for coming to this interview as well. Enjoy the pizza and of course enjoy your second championship title here in the UAC in AcadArena. So see you guys at HAU. I think we're going to be wrapping up for this broadcast as
Yeah.
well.
Pizza.
Right?
So,
So,
syempre, again,
enjoy na nila yung
congratulations.
pizza.
I-enjoy na nila eh. Rinig na rinig natin eh. Parang, kumusta yung pizza, guys? For once again, congratulations for both of the teams for grand finals. And yeah, any final thoughts lang naman? Galing sa
Yeah.
amin, final thoughts lang, we'll be looking forward for the season, next season.
Next season as well. I mean, I'm sure PUP wants to get their second try at a championship run next season or next year. And I'm sure all the other teams, we're going to be seeing a lot of new teams from Division B as well come in from the top 4 of Division B. So I'm looking forward. Shout outs to University of Rizal system as well. Looking to see you guys in Division A next season. So that about wraps up this year's UAC for Wild Rift. It's been a long run, and I hope that you all enjoyed and hope you'll be staying for the next UAC. But this is where we part ways. Have a very nice December, and we'll be seeing you in the next season. I'm Hiron. With me was Kafer. With us earlier was Infinity, and we'll be seeing you for more esports action in the next season of UAC.
See you guys.